It is time for another tier list, and today we are putting all of the MCU heroes on my very own tier list. I'm really excited to get into this, and I'm pretty nervous too because I have at least 50 something heroes on this list, and I guarantee there are a few that I've missed. So, if in case I missed any heroes, make sure you put them in the comments in the chat below. Let me know who I missed and where you would put them on this tier list. But I'm pretty sure I got all of them, at least the important ones. So let's go ahead and get into this. But in case you're new here, welcome to the Crop Top Critic. I'm Alex, and I love everything movies, TV, and geeky related. And I want you to love that stuff too. So let's just hop right into this tier list, and you'll see just how like ridiculous it is because there are so many characters in the MCU, which makes sense because there's so many movies and television. So like there's like look at all this. And then I even had to do a duplicate tier page because there's just so many. So in case this one fills up, I got a backup here, or I might just scroll down to this one once I get all these characters done. And I don't have it in any particular order. So like I started to like, by order of appearance, but then, I was forgetting and remembering characters. So I'm just like, it's just a free for all. So I just had these characters here, and we're going to get into it. And here we go. So first off, let's start with Iron Man. Iron Man, controversial opinion. I hate him. I can't stand him. I'm just kidding. Don't panic. Say I couldn't even hold on to it that long. I love Iron Man. Like, this is the character that started it all for the MCU. And just an amazing performance by Robert Downey Jr., who totally embodies the character. And he's just so much fun. His influence is vast on the MCU. And if it wasn't for the success of Iron Man, we wouldn't have all the amazing stuff that we got today. Well, mostly amazing, some kind of, but for the most part, it's all because of Iron Man. And, there's been rumors that Robert Downey Jr. has been talking about, like, yeah, I'd be willing to come back. Like, I hope so, because we love Robert Downey Jr. We love Iron Man. Like, I don't think this is going to be much argument. I'm going to put him in God tier of the MCU. Okay. But where would you put Iron Man? Let me know down in the comments below where you would put Iron Man on this list. Do you agree? Do you think he's God tier? Do you think, actually, he's kind of overrated? I'll put him in B. Might be blasphemous to some people, but we respect others' opinions here. But my opinion is Iron Man is God tier. So let's go on to the next one, shall we? Captain America. Now, in case you haven't noticed, Captain America is one of my favorite superheroes. Pretty much all versions of him. He's my second favorite hero, to be exact, and we'll get into who's number one later. But also, I love Captain America. He started off a little rough. The first movie, I liked the first Captain America movie. It was good, but and then I liked him in the Avengers movie, but they kind of made him too goody two shoes at first, too like super cop type. But as soon as like the Winter Soldier movie came out, and Captain America was like, you know what? Yes, I am Captain America, but also I'm just going to be a total rebel and just do what I think is right. So much respect for that. I absolutely love Captain America, and he's pretty much the same way in the comics. He does have his slip ups, especially like dealing with the X-Men, mutant stuff. But for the most part, Captain America is just morally just perfect. Like, pretty much if he's on one side, that's the right side for the most part. So for that, I love Captain America. He's my second favorite hero. Also, God tier. I think he's great. And also, Chris Evans had total superhero redemption because he was in the Fantastic Four originally as the Human Torch, and those movies weren't very good. And then he comes back as Steve Rogers as Captain America and just totally owns the role. But where would you put Captain America? Make sure you let me know down in the chat or comments if you're watching the replay below. I'm curious to see where you put these characters so far. I think I'm being a bit generous here, but I just love these characters so much. Spoiler alert, I love superheroes, especially Marvel superheroes. So it's gonna take a lot for some of these characters to get down to like the D tier level. Like those I have a couple in mind, but for the most part, this is gonna be pretty barren. All right, next up, we have Thor, God of Thunder. I really like Thor. Thor was never my favorite character growing up, and even in the MCU, not my favorite character, but I do think Thor is cool. Obviously, super popular. Chris Hemsworth does an incredible job as Thor, and I think his movies are cool. I personally I liked Ragnarok. That's the best Thor movie. I think that was his greatest performance as Thor, and you know the first two Thor movies were good. Thought they were good, but Thor as a character, like I don't know. I feel like there's still much missing from him. We haven't reached his full potential because like Thor in the comics is a completely different animal. Like he is a beast in the comic books, but in the movies we get glimpses of it. I think he's really cool. I do like him, but it's just you know he's a god, but we're not quite there yet. He's super powerful, but it's just there's more he could give us, I feel like. And hopefully if they make a fifth Thor movie that they'll really showcase just how powerful Thor is. But as is, I'm gonna put him in A tier. I like him. I think he's cool. I think he's boss. But I think the God of Thunder isn't God tier. That might be pretty ironic, but that's just where I am. What about you? Where do you put Thor? Do you put Thor in God tier just on attractiveness alone? Like, I would understand. I wouldn't argue with that. That is a handsome man. I'm not even attracted to men, but you gotta admit, like, if we're talking about appearance alone, it would be disrespectful to not put him in God tier. But for now, I'm gonna put him in A tier. All right. Next, we have Black Widow. Black Widow is so cool. Like, what is her superpowers? She has hands. That's her powers. Like aliens, giant, like 8-foot tall alien warlords, like robots, random henchmen. Like, doesn't matter. She's throwing hands, and she uses cool gadgets and all. But just, I respect it. I always respect a hero that doesn't have powers. That's just pure skill, and I think she's so cool in these movies. They do a great job with Black Widow. Scarlett Johansson's incredible. She's incredible. Black Widow is just so cool. I am one of the few people that actually liked the Black Widow movie. The only thing that brought it down for me was how they did Taskmaster. I didn't like how they did Taskmaster as a villain. Very, very lackluster. But otherwise, like, Black Widow is cool. I'm always excited to see her. Every time she appears, she does something awesome. I don't have to worry about her. I'm putting her in God tier too. This is a generous list, but I don't care. I love it. Black Widow is God tier. She is above Thor, in my opinion. Not in terms of power. Like, once again, I'm not saying who's the strongest hero here. I'm just in terms of how cool I think they are. So to me, Black Widow is cooler than Thor. Might start a riot. I don't really care. Let's see. Where would you put Black Widow? Make sure you let me know down in the chat below. I will keep reminding you, just in case, because I really want to know what y'all think, where you would put these characters. So that's why I keep asking. All right, next up, we have the Incredible Hulk. Another controversial opinion I might have. A lot of people are upset with how they did the Hulk, making him, less angry and more just like, oh, he's a happy, kind of go lucky guy now. He has a family, he has the Hulk under control, his life is put together. But growing up, being exposed to the Hulk comics and cartoons, and just seeing his life just being so depressing all the time, it was a nice change of pace. Like, it was actually, I honestly enjoyed seeing him being happy. Like, that was really nice. I was like, of all characters to deserve happiness, the Hulk is definitely one of those characters. Like, the dude never catches a break in the comics, and I feel so bad for him. Like, can't this dude get at least 8 hours of peaceful sleep, like, just once? But and I like that the MCU did that. But also, that comes with a caveat. It is lame. it is pretty lame, because he goes from like being a major force in the MCU, like, he's one of the strongest heroes there is, and just all the chaos he causes when he does Hulk out, like, it's epic. Like, I gotta say, I felt bad for him, but it was really cool to watch. But ever since he got beat up by Thanos, and they do the whole Professor Hulk thing, like once again, I'm glad he has his life together. I am happy about that. But he just loses his coolness after that. Like he doesn't have as much impact on fights, on just in the hero verse in general. Like doesn't do much. He's like regulated to the sidelines. So I do not hate Professor Hulk, but he's just not as cool anymore. But I do like him, just not as cool. So I'm gonna put him in B tier. I know a lot of people would put him in like D tier because they absolutely do not like that, and I respect that opinion. Maybe that's your opinion. You'll let me know in the chat. But I he's still cool to like he's cool enough to be in B tier. Put him right there. Hulk is B. Now Hawkeye. I feel bad for Hawkeye because everyone always talks mess about Hawkeye. Like he's the second character in the Avengers that doesn't have powers. You know, we give Black Widow a lot of respect. Obviously, she's in God tier. And I wish that respect also got over to Hawkeye. Now, I don't think Hawkeye is as cool as Black Widow. Let's chill out there. But I think Hawkeye is really cool in his own right. Like, I remember reading this post where it said, anytime Hawkeye was with the Avengers, they won. Every time that he wasn't with the Avengers, they lost. And I'm like, technically, that's true. you know and Captain America's side, they won the Civil War because Hawkeye was on their side. Like he's just that wild card, that X factor. And all the different trick arrows that he has, like the arrow with that uses the Pimtex so it can make the arrow grow giant, like stuff like that. He is useful in fights. Like he causes so much mayhem for villains. I would be so annoyed if I was like Thanos fighting the Avengers and every 3 seconds an exploding arrow hit my face. Like that would annoy me. And I feel like he helps turn the tide of battle. And I think Hawkeye's cool. I'm not even gonna hide it. I think Hawkeye is cool. I think he's cooler than the Hulk in the MCU. And so I'm gonna put him right next to Thor. I won't put him in God tier, though. I do like Hawkeye's story, like how he becomes Ronin and all that. Like he's a great character, but he's just just not quite God tier. Not quite God tier. Maybe eventually, maybe one day in the future, I do another tier list and I'm like, you know what? Hawkeye gets upgraded, God tier. Today's not that day. All right, here, who's next? We have War Machine. Now, this is the Don Cheadle version, not the Terrence Howard. I wonder what that would have been like. But anyway, War Machine. He's cool. I like him. I like the minigun on his shoulders. I think he's cool. I think they did him dirty in the Secret Invasion show. He's one of those characters. He's a cool sidekick. I would like to have seen more of him. I feel like in Avengers Age of Ultron, he should have been more a part of it. I know there's only so much they can do in a movie, but I would like to see more from War Machine. He is freaking cool, though. His armor is tight. It's extraordinary. I like it. So, I'm going to put him in B tier. Right next to Hulk. Hulk has company. There we go. Where would you put War Machine? Because I'm just like he's just one of those sidekick characters, and I hate referring to characters as sidekicks because it always has that disrespectful meaning to it. But like not no disrespect to War Machine. I think he's dope. I think he can be really cool on his own, but as of right now, we haven't seen that. I think they're making the Armor Wars movie, and I think it used to be they were making into a series, but now they're turning it into a movie, and Don Cheadle is the lead as War Machine. So I think that movie will help him step up a bit. I think that will bring him up to, I think, A tier. I'm confident. I'm confident they'll make him extra cool in this. But as of right now, B tier. No shame in B tier. You're doing great, War Machine. Keep it up. But where would you put War Machine? Let me know down in the comments. All right, next up, we got the Falcon. And I have Sam Wilson on here twice, and I'll explain why in a second. But first off, the Falcon. I really liked the Falcon. I enjoyed his dynamic with Captain America. I thought he is the homie, and just how willing he was. Just like, yeah, I just met Captain America a day ago, but now I'm gonna go help him topple an evil government. No problem. Like, the dude's a ride or die. Like, this is the type, Sam Wilson's the type of guy you want as a best friend. And I feel like he's just a stronger, like, he is a sidekick, much like War Machine is to Iron Man. But I feel like he has a much better connection to Captain America than War Machine does to Iron Man. Like, he's a much better supporting character, and there's a lot about him that is, that you like. He like emulates Captain America in different ways. He's like, he is a good person. And just the fact that, yeah, he flies around, he has cool little some Uzis with him. I personally, for a sidekick, think he's really cool. Falcon goes to A tier. Now, I said I had Sam Wilson twice here because eventually Sam Wilson becomes the new Captain America. And at this point, look, I'm wearing the shirt. At this point, Sam Wilson is like the coolest character to me right now. Like, a black Captain America, like, is incredible. They did this in the comics, and I loved it then. And then when he appears on this big screen, not the big screen, but I have a pretty decent sized TV. When he appeared on the screen as Captain America, he burst through that window with his red, white, and blue wings and the Captain America shield. I legit started crying because it was so cool. Like, oh my God. And he's the perfect person to be the next Captain America, because the whole point of being Captain America is not being the perfect soldier, but a good man. And Sam Wilson is a good man. No disrespect to Bucky, but Sam Wilson is just better fit for that. And I can't wait to see what he does in the next Captain America movie. Just in that one series, even though my issue with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier and all the Disney Plus series, honestly, is, they only have 6 episodes. They're so short, so you don't get much like development. But because we already knew Sam Wilson from the previous movies, and then going into this, we get so much more. I'm like, I would love to see this dude as the leader of the Avengers. And I just can't stop raving about Captain America Falcon. I love it. Captain America Sam Wilson is God tier. That's where I'm putting him. And for those people that keep saying Sam Wilson is not Captain America, I'm here to tell you that he absolutely is. Sam Wilson is Captain America. Deal with it. But where would you put Captain America on your tier list? I'm putting him in God tier. Anything less than that is disrespectful. I think he just completely upgrades from the Falcon. So that's great. And speaking of another Captain America sidekick, but former villain, Winter Soldier. I love Bucky. Bucky is freaking cool. Like, when you first meet him, he does start off as a villain, so this was like, I was kind of going back and forth, like, do I include him on this list or not? And, he started off like half of his time he was a villain, and the second half he was a hero. At the end of the day, I'm just going to put him as a hero. I love it. When you first meet him and he like catches Captain America's shield, like, that was so epic. And just him, battling with like being brainwashed, and then in the series, in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series, just like him like fighting through that brainwashing, and like realizing that he's now free of it. Like, that scene made me cry. I don't know about you. I cry a lot about these things. I'm very sensitive. But just seeing that, just overcoming that brainwashing, and then trying to make up for, his past crimes, which honestly weren't his fault. Like, he wasn't in control of his body, but still, like, such great character development. I love Winter Soldier so much. And while he's not like, a top tier superhero in this universe, like, you can't put Winter Soldier up against Iron Man or Thor or Hulk. Like, he's not going to do much against them, but one-on-one at least. But, just as cool in terms of coolness, how much I appreciate him, his impact on the MCU. I loved him. I think he also deserves to go in God tier. At this point, I'm going to run out. I'm going to run out of God tier stuff in a second. because yeah, I gotta shrink him up a bit. See, that's another thing about making tier lists is, especially with so many characters, you're like, I won't have room, I don't have the sizes right. But anyway, I put Winter Soldier in God tier. I think he deserves it. The dude made me cry. So like that's worth something. Where would you put Winter Soldier? Also, if you're getting value out of this tier list, if you're enjoying it, having a great time, don't forget to hit the like button and comment down below. Let me know how I'm doing. I always appreciate feedback. And subscribe to the channel. That way you don't miss any new tier lists or reviews or character explanations that I come up with in the future. I don't want you to miss that stuff. So make sure you subscribe. All right, next up, Scarlet Witch. Oh gosh, I love her. I love her too. Scarlet. Oh my gosh, so many characters that I love. I'm sorry, but Scarlet Witch is so cool. You know, especially from WandaVision forward, like just man, the growth. And I know she finishes off as a villain, so this was another character I was like, do I put in this list because she was a villain? I might, if I do a villain tier list, will I add her to that too? Yes, but for the most part, I'd say she is a hero. She is a hero, and what can I say about Scarlet Witch? Super powerful, super cool. I like how she starts off, with Avengers Age of Ultron. As she's growing, she is still very much like a rookie in terms of her powers and in terms of being a hero. She's still figuring her stuff out, and then once you get to Infinity War, she just grows exponentially as she just becomes an adult. She's always been an adult, but she becomes a pro with her powers, and then just how she just manhandles Thanos, like, you took everything from me, I don't even know who you are, you will, and then just proceeds to just tear him apart. Like, she was about to kill Thanos. Like, she is no joke. And then the WandaVision series, that was a mind trip. I had no, like, her show had the entire MCU fan base in like held hostage. We had no idea what was happening. And then when we figured out that she was in control of everything, like, we had no idea what she was going to do next. Is she a good guy? Is she a bad guy? Is she losing her mind? And then in the second Doctor Strange movie, she goes full on villain, and just like, wow, even though I don't like how they handled it, she's still incredible. And I'm sad that they confirmed that she died in the second movie. Oh, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. I'm assuming you've watched all these movies and shows, so sorry if I spoil things for you. I apologize. But I think she's fantastic. I want to see more of her. Also made me cry. God tier. No, that's not the only criteria to get you into God tier. You don't have to make me cry. We're getting a lot in God tier so far. I think this is gonna fill up. Maybe we'll see. All right. Ooh, no, we might have our first. Okay, Quicksilver. Now Quicksilver only appeared in Age of Ultron, and I'm also not counting the version of Quicksilver we got in WandaVision. We're gonna ignore that. In Age of Ultron, I really liked Quicksilver. I thought he was cool, but how they killed him was so lame. Like really? You have super speed and you die by getting shot? Like, you're supposed to be faster than bullets. Like, Quicksilver is very fast. Definitely faster than bullets. How are you getting shot? How could you not get to Hawkeye in time before the bullets got, like, that didn't make sense to me. And that felt really lame. Like, I thought, if you're gonna kill a speedster, it should be like this elaborate trap. Like, oh, they grab something and it stabs them and hooks onto them, kind of like what they did to the Flash in the what is it called? It's one of the animated movies, not Doomsday. Y'all know what I'm talking about, where Batman's contingency plans gets stolen by the Legion of Doom and all that. Like, something like that. That's how you capture a speedster. But just shooting them, like, that just made him way less cool to me, and I was so bugged by it. I originally was gonna put him in C tier because I was like, oh, it doesn't bug me that much. But the more that I like sit and think about it, I'm like, no, that was really lame. You can't kill a speedster by shooting. I'm sorry. Quicksilver. Scarlet Witch is going to be mad at me, but Quicksilver goes to D tier. Huh. We got our first D tier. There we go. Awesome. I feel bad for putting him there, but like, yeah, that's where you got to go. You're a speedster that got shot to death. Like that shouldn't happen. That should be against the rules. Where would you put Quicksilver though? Maybe am I being too harsh right now? Would you at least move him up to C tier? I don't know. I think he deserves D tier, but let me know. All right. Vision. Now, Vision is cool. I thought he was going to be a bigger deal. Just only because in Age of Ultron they made him like this is Ultron's secret weapon. Like this is his future body that he's going to use to destroy humanity. And like Vision was built up to be this really big thing. And then, you know, and he did have a pretty big impact in Civil War. Like he was beating up pretty much everyone he was fighting in that movie except Scarlet Witch. But once he got to Infinity War, he was just getting jumped the whole movie. And I'm like, they don't make him as cool as, you know, he is in the comics. Like, come on, Vision, put up at least a little bit more of a fight. I was just really disappointed. And, you know, in WandaVision, you know, same thing. He's just kind of at the mercy of everyone else. You know, either Vision is getting controlled by Scarlet Witch or he's getting just manipulated by Agatha Harkness or getting beaten up by the White Vision. I will say though, it was cool that he was able to out-talk the White Vision in this. So, you know, that gives him some cred. He did the, you know, what is it? What do Naruto fans say? No talk jutsu thing. So that was cool. You know, I was like, I like him, but also I don't really care much about him. I'm sorry. I'm going to put him in C tier. That hurts. It hurts. But, you know, when I'm talking it out with you, I guess I don't really care about Vision that much. It's like, oh, when's Vision coming back? And I'm like, oh, yeah, when's Vision? You know, he's fine. He's fine to me. And maybe I'm being too harsh. Maybe y'all would put him in B tier. You'll let me know. But as of right now, I don't really care. I don't really care. He's C tier. At least he didn't die pathetically like Quicksilver. Like, how can you be a speedster and get shot? Like, that's annoying. Come on. Sorry. Water break. All right. Doctor Strange. Another character that, you know, isn't my favorite. I think he's cool. His first movie was great. Or not great, but, you know, I thought it was good. The second movie, I did not like the second movie. But I like his powers. I think I like how true he is in terms of like how arrogant he can be. Because, you know, Doctor Strange is a pretty arrogant person. He's pretty full of himself. And Benedict Cumberbatch does a great job portraying that. I just, you know, just in terms of other characters, I think there are cooler ones. He's another character I'm just like, okay, Doctor Strange is there too. He's helpful. He does do, you know, has that awesome planning sequence of, you know, giving Thanos the time stone because he knows which one reality is the version where they actually beat Thanos. So, you know, that was really cool. I'll give him credit for that. And he is, you know, a higher tier hero in terms of power. Like, he's one of the big ones that protects the world. So I'll give him that respect. He is cooler than Vision, but I don't think he goes much higher than B tier. Doctor Strange is just kind of blah. Not blah. This is not, sorry. B is not for blah tier. B is for, you're cool. You're cool. C is blah. C is blah. B is cool. You're cool, Doctor Strange. I think you have potential. I didn't want to add the versions of characters from the animated series, What If? That version of Doctor Strange would be A tier. He's really cool. But the current Doctor Strange we have right now, you know, he's cool. He goes to B tier. Good job. Wong, on the other hand, I like Wong. He is another sidekick character, but I honestly prefer him over Doctor Strange. Is he as powerful as Doctor Strange? No, not at all. But I feel like he's a better character. And just his whole interaction with that one girl in She-Hulk was hilarious. And I just like how Wong, he's just more responsible. He's just popping up everywhere. I mean, has to be responsible. He's the Sorcerer Supreme now. And I just love how he just pops up in pretty much every movie and series. Like, hey, what's going on? Like, I love Wong. I can't get enough of Wong. Wong goes to A tier. This might be the first instance of a sidekick being ranked higher than the hero that they support. So I'm quite proud of that. There might be some controversy around that, but that's what I'm doing. I like that. Okay, next, Ant-Man. Another character that I'm just like, you're there. I don't hate Ant-Man, but never outright excited about Ant-Man. You know, I like a friend of mine who likes the characters. You know, he says that this is essentially Paul Rudd as Ant-Man. Like, he isn't Scott Lang. He's Paul Rudd, Ant-Man. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of agree with that. Ant-Man, I think he has cool aspects about him, but anytime an Ant-Man movie was coming out, I was just like, okay. Like, Quantumania gave me a little bit of hope in like thinking that Ant-Man was cooler, but that movie wasn't that great. Kang was great. Ant-Man, though, is just like, someone else should have had this movie spot. Maybe, like, Ant-Man was fine with just 2 movies. I don't think he needed a third. Yeah, I can't justifiably put him in B tier because he's just fine to me. I'll put him in C tier. But now I feel bad about it. Hold on. I might have to rethink that. Only because he did lead to everyone being able to time travel in Avengers Endgame. Like, he was able to survive the snap by being stuck in the quantum realm, and then he was able to escape out of it. Well, a mouse helped him escape somehow. But yeah. Okay, C tier for Ant-Man. Sorry if you enjoy Ant-Man. Sorry. Where would you put Ant-Man? Maybe Ant-Man's A tier to you. Who knows? I just think he's fine. Oh, that's another character I'm missing. Sorry. So earlier my computer was glitching. I'm like, oh, it's deleted some of the photos of the characters, and I thought I got them all back. The Wasp should also be on here. Same for the Wasp. She would be in C tier too. Like, same thing. Even though she is a hero in her own right, in the MCU, she's more of a sidekick to Ant-Man, which is a bit disrespectful. But in terms of MCU, same C tier. Don't really care much about her. She's not bad. Like, these characters in C tier aren't bad by any means, but I just don't care about them as much. And that's okay. All right. Okay. We are 33 minutes in, and we still got a lot to go. I might need to break this up in 2 parts, but I'll just keep going. I'll at least finish these. All right. So next up, we have, we're getting to the Guardians of the Galaxy. Star-Lord. Star-Lord is funny. I like Star-Lord. I think he's really cool. Just from the minute we meet him and he just starts dancing. I appreciate it. He is such a fun character. So I can't be bugged by him. I like Star-Lord. He goes in the A tier. Not quite God tier, but he's fun. Anytime he shows up, I smile. Can't get enough of him. Gamora. Gamora is so awesome. She is like I imagine Gamora is like for those of you who aren't familiar with the comics, I would say Gamora is a space Black Widow, but she's stronger, faster. She's been modified, so she's like a superior being, and she is really cool. Zoe Saldana does an incredible job with her. I really enjoy Gamora too, and just her being a part of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, A tier. I'm just gonna let you know, none of the Guardians are low tier. I'm just gonna tell you now, they're all great for the most part. Rocket Raccoon. This I don't think there's going to be argument here. God tier on Rocket Raccoon. It's a raccoon. It's a talking raccoon that likes to shoot big guns. And like when that concept was pitched to everyone back when they were first making the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, people were like, wait, this movie's going to have a talking raccoon and a talking tree? Like that's going to be so stupid. And like it was so easy. It's so easy for something like that to be stupid in live action, but they just made Rocket Raccoon so incredible, especially in the third movie when you learn, more about his backstory and you just get this completely different side of Rocket. It's just more emotional. Like, yes, he made me cry. He also made me cry. Is that why he's on God tier? That's definitely helps. If a character is able to make me cry, they're able to make me feel such emotions. It's easy to go in God tier. So yeah, I don't think there's going to be much argument that Rocket Raccoon's God tier. So, but you'll let me know in the comments where you place Rocket Raccoon, and can't have Rocket without Groot. Same thing with Groot. Such a talking tree, like such an easy concept to make stupid on a movie. But yet, once again, like even though all he says is "I am Groot," you can just connect with this character. You love Groot. All versions of Groot, the first Groot, the baby Groot. Oh my God, baby Groot. Baby Groot was so great. And then teenage Groot, my least favorite of the Groots, but you still love him. Like, come on, it's a talking tree that beats people up. God tier. Also made me cry. We are Groot. Oh, in the first movie, yeah, we love Groot. I don't think there's going to be any disagreement that Rocket and Groot are God tier. Should put them together. Water. Yeah, can't agree. Can't disagree with that. All right, next. Drax the Destroyer. I do like Drax. I love Drax. I won't say I love him as much as Rocket or Groot, but just how one Drax is a fighter. I always appreciate characters that are just like, oh, that's a big scary thing. I'm gonna go hit it in the face as hard as I can with my fist. And I think that's so much fun. I love Drax. I think he's great. I think he's funny. I like that he doesn't understand metaphors. That whole thing. Nothing can fly over my head. My reflexes are too fast. I would catch it. Like this is cinema. This is cinema. You get A tier, buddy. You're goodness gracious. I love Drax. No, you know what? No. I was tempted. I was tempted to put him in God tier just because I really do. I really enjoy Drax, but he didn't make me cry. Just kidding. No, it's not that he didn't make me cry. It's just in the later on movies, he took like more of a backseat role. I felt he was less of a major character than you'd say Rocket or Groot. So I'm gonna keep him at A tier. I'm gonna keep him there. Mantis. Now, people hate on Mantis, and I don't think it's warranted. But I will say she is the weakest of the bunch in the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think she's adorable, but she's more of a support character. Like I don't remember seeing her fight often. Like I can honestly remember like two parts where I see her punching something, but I just can't remember her actually fighting anyone. She's always just standing there, and she's the emotional support character. So I do like her. I think she's cool. I think she's more appealing than Vision and Ant-Man. So I'm gonna put her next to Doctor Strange there in the B tier. That might be generous because I can't remember any cool moments off the top of my head, but I just on the sides outside of the action scenes, I think she's adorable. I think she at least deserves B tier. Okay. But you'll let me know. Where do you place Mantis? Oh, Nebula. Cool. She's on here too. Great. Nebula's great. I love her character development. I like another character that was like started off as a villain, and then I feel like out of all the Guardians, she had the most like focus in terms of like you see just how her character is changing. She was heavily abused by Thanos, and kind of a villain for the most part. But then you just start seeing her lightening up, and lighten up. I'm stuttering. You start seeing her easing up, becoming more good, becoming more empathetic to others. I personally loved that. I think it was really cool. And then by the time you get to Guardians of the Galaxy 3, like she's a full-on hero. And it's just like, man, just the journey from where she started to where she is was so much fun to watch. She gets an A tier. Great job, Nebula. You deserve it. You deserve it. I honestly want to see more of Nebula. Hopefully we get to see more of her. Maybe she'll have super long hair like she does in the comics. Like it's weird seeing her in the comics and then seeing her in the movie, and you're like, whoa, they're completely different. But I honestly prefer her MCU design over her comic book design. Personally. All right. Next up, we have Black Panther. Now, Black Panther, what a phenomenon that was. Like, just as a person of color, as a Black man, I feel like for a lot of Black people, it was really important when Black Panther came out. Like, just what like a moment in MCU history. Like, that was such a big deal, and I loved that. And then Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace, did such an incredible performance. Like, I can't get over it, just how perfect this casting, this character was. And one of the things I liked about Black Panther was just how one of the few heroes that admits that, I had it all wrong. Like in his story about, just how his father was, how past kings of Wakanda were. And he's like, no, we got to make the change. Like, he was one of the few heroes that actually agree with the villain to an extent. Killmonger was tripping a bit, but like, I absolutely love Black Panther. Like, I can't. It would be horrendous to put him anywhere lower than God tier. Like, so incredible. And it's a shame that we lost Chadwick Boseman, to cancer. Like, because I would have loved to have seen so many more movies with Black Panther. Like, this is one of the heroes like that deserves at least 3-4 movies. Like, Ant-Man doesn't need 3 movies. I don't even think he needed 2. Like, the one was fine. But Black Panther, it's a shame we lost him. It was just, man. And then, but we do get in the second Black Panther movie, they do make a second one, and we get Shuri's version of the Black Panther. And obviously, a lot of people love Chadwick Boseman. So when they were like, we have a brand new Black Panther Shuri, there was a lot of hate towards her for that. And I personally, while I don't like Shuri as much as I like Chadwick Boseman's Black Panther, I thought Shuri, what's the actress name? Letitia Wright. I thought she did great, having to pick that, like, put that mantle on her shoulders, like, having to overcome like all the outside noise from the movie. And like, even in the movie, you just see that stress on her, that burden of being the Black Panther, that responsibility. And I thought she handled it well. I thought she was really cool. That fight scene with Namor was epic. Like, I think she deserves to wear the Black Panther suit. She did it in the comics anyway, so it's still comic accurate. I think she's great. I think she's cool. Not as I think if we get more of her, more movies with her in it, I could see her going up to God tier. But as of right now, I think A is a good place for her. But what do you think? What do y'all think of where I put the Black Panthers? Would you switch them? Would you put Letitia Wright higher? Would you put them lower? Like, let me know. Let me know what you feel about the Black Panthers. I'm gonna do a little skipping around because I have Okoye here, another character with no powers just straight hands, or in her case, a spear, I think Okoye, like, I don't have to discuss much about this, right? I don't think I have to. Okoye's God tier. I am putting her in God tier. She is so cool. I love Okoye so much. She did not make me cry. Did she? Did she make me cry? She might have made me cry. But for the most part, I'm just, anytime she walked on screen, I'm like, why is she the coolest person on the screen right now? Like, she'll be next to like literal superheroes, like literal gods. And I'm just like, Okoye. Okoye is the coolest person in that room right now. Look at that spear. Like, she's another character. Like, just sees someone big and scary and is like, I'm gonna go poke it with my stick, you know. And she will handle business. Like, so much respect for this character. God tier. Okoye, God tier. And then someone told me to make sure you add Nakia, which is Black Panther's girlfriend. So I did. She's fine. I think she's cool, but like, another character that doesn't really do much outside of the first movie. Outside of this first movie, especially, doesn't do much. And did she do anything in the second movie? I don't think she did. So I'm gonna put Nakia a C tier. I feel bad. I shouldn't feel bad. I feel bad, but like, she doesn't do much for me. She's not Okoye cool. Okoye. I don't think anybody's Okoye cool, but like, she doesn't even get close to that. So we've been going on for a while. I think as of right now, I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna have to do a part 2 because we still got a few more characters to go, and I think I'll pick this up in another couple of days with this. But what do you think of my tier list? How would you rank the characters that I have in the MCU so far? Let me know down in the chat below. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and then click on the boxes right here to keep watching stuff. And I'll see you again next time.